Black Girl Magic Volume 4, What For Ladies? The story is getting crazier and crazier. More details about what's going on are unfolding. Let the comic book action begin. Also, this comic book story is a fantastic way for viewers/subscribers to learn character development, character arc, story structure, the character's superpowers and abilities, and lots more. Listen, learn, enjoy. Harmony's house/driveway/ on her cell phone. "Oh my gosh, I'm rushing towards my car with the historian in my hand," shouted Harmony. "I can't get a hold of Janet or her husband Mark," said Mora. Harmony's car. "What is up with that?" asked Harmony. "I'm only a few turns from their house," said Mora. "Vormetah directly messaged me and she needs me to meet her at First Lady Productions with this historian," said Harmony. "Vormetah, the writer of the book," said Mora. "Yes, she's stressed out because some woman has her two sisters hostage," said Harmony. Mora at Janet's house. "Okay. I'm getting out of my car, going up to the front door," said Mora. "I hope everything is okay," said Harmony. "Their front door isn't locked," said Mora as she entered the front door. "What?" shouted Harmony. "Oh, my goodness," shouted Mora. "Don't tell me anything bad, please," said Harmony. "There is some sort of magical mirror floating in the center of the living room. It's showing Janet and Mark magically tied up on top of a building," said Mora. "The rooftop of First Lady Productions is where I must bring this historian," said Harmony. "That must be where they're at then," said Mora. "Meet me and Vormetah there," said Harmony. "On my way," said Mora as she rushed out of Janet's house. Vormetah's car/calling her mother. "Mom, some woman has Neva and no more locked inside of some sort of locket," said Vormetah. "It sounds like you're dealing with a powerful sorceress," said Vivi Von Cage. "A sorceress?" shouted Vormetah. "Figure out what she wants and try to give it to her," said Vivi. "She wants this book I wrote called This Historian," said Vormetah. "What is it about your book that she desires is now the question," asked Vivi. "My book is somehow changed into a secret, magical book, called an enclosure," said Vormetah. "You can't give a magical book to a sorceress. It will make her more powerful," said Vivi. "Okay," said Vormetah. "Was there a magician, wizard, or someone who uses magic nearby during the book signing for your book?" asked Vivi. "Not that I know of," said Vormetah. "Perhaps he or she was there during the fantasy writing contest," said Vivi. "OMG, one of the judges consistently smiled at me the entire time throughout the contest," said Vormetah. "Do you recall the judge's name?" asked Vivi. "Merlin Genesis," said Vormetah. "With a name like Merlin, surely he knows something about magic," said Vivi. "Right," said Vormetah. "Contact Merlin Genesis, perhaps he can help bring back Neva and no more," said Vivi. "Got it," said Vormetah. First Lady Productions/Rooftop. Janet and Mark magically tied up. "Once the other three ladies show up, the magical entertainment shall begin," said Gordif. "What three ladies?" asked Janet. "It was you and three other ladies at the yard sale," said Gordif. "There were only three of us at the yard sale," said Janet. "Really?" said Gordif as she waved her hands and a magical mirror displayed Janet, Mora, and Harmony, along with a fourth young lady with golden hair beads in her hair. "That's Xandra Horn," said Janet as she curiously gazed into the magical mirror. "Might I ask, who is she?" asked Gordif. "2 years ago, Xandra caught the Walden disease," said Mark. "Xandra, being the outspoken person she was, simply refused to protect herself by wearing a mask," said Janet. "Concerned for everyone's safety, Xandra reported to the local cure center," said Mark. "We received word that Xandra passed away and was cremated shortly afterward," said Janet. "Yet, clear as day, she stood beside you," said Gordith with a curious look on her face. "Funny. I don't recall seeing you at the yard sale," said Janet. "I held this historian in my hands," said Gordith. "Wait a second," said Janet as she gazed deep into Gordith's eyes. "Do you know her?" asked Mark. You look like Nonjabulo's neighbor, said Janet. It's me, a bit older, that is, said Gordith. What do you want? Asked Mark. I wish to know the secret text written inside the Sistorian, said Gordith. Flashback / Mark's cat daddy muscle car. Wait a second, there was a yard sale in the city of Hollymeed? Asked Mark. Yes, shouted Janet as she laughed hysterically. Just like other cities, Hollymeed has its own city guides that everyone pretty much goes by, said Mark with the biggest smile on his face. Like always, adore yourself in the greatest of fashions. Be the look of the day and not the laughingstock of tomorrow. Step proper, said Janet. That was number 2 in Hollymeed's city guide, said Mark. Number 6. Attire is for elders and visitors. Primmed out is for the cool people who live in Hollymeed. You're the bling, said Janet. Do number 9, shouted Mark. If you enjoy T-bone steaks, sautéed olives, popcorn mustard, bougie soup, champagnes, cakes, and caviar, then welcome to the lovely city of Hollymeed, said Janet. The currency in Hollymeed is, said Mark. Hollymeed's currency is called credit, shouted Janet. So, who the heck is doing a yard sale in Hollymeed? Asked Mark. Nonjabulo is her name, said Janet. Who in the world is Nonjabulo? Asked Mark. She's new in Hollymeed, said Janet as she laughed with tears in her eyes. Did you buy anything at Nonjabulo's yard sale? Asked Mark. Nothing fit me. However, Harmony found this book called The Sistorian, said Janet. Wait, what? Said Mark with a serious tone to his voice. That's the name of the book, said Janet. The brother gent wants to find the Sistorian, said Mark. The brother gent, said Janet with a curious look on her face. The brother gent isn't what it sounds like, said Mark. Meaning, said Janet. Your thinking is way off if you think the brother gent is about black men infiltrating black communities as spies for government agencies around the world, said Mark. So, who are they then? Asked Janet. The brother gent was formed to help defeat magical beings, said Mark. Say what? Said Janet. Other magical beings can easily detect other magical beings, said Mark. Okay, said Janet. Yet, a brother could get in undetected and defeat a magical being, said Mark. Who'd suspect a brother dealing with magic, said Janet. Now you're getting this, said Mark. Why is the brother gent after the Sistorian? Asked Janet. The brother gent handbook and the Sistorian are considered siblings, said Mark. Oh, like siblings, said Janet. They're brother and sister books, yet one can't survive without the other, said Mark. How do you know all this? Asked Janet. To become a brother gent you must go through the trainee exercise called Ganthlin, said Mark. Are you a member of the brother gent? Asked Janet. I went through Ganthlin, yet I opted out once my training buddy died, said Mark. What the heck are those? Asked Janet as she gestured up towards the clouds in the sky. It's a half-dozen white orb-looking things flying around, said Mark as he slowed the car down to get a better look up towards the sky. They're combining into one, said Janet. It's descending towards us, shouted Mark as he energetically pressed buttons on the Cat Daddy's high-tech control panel. Thus, the Cat Daddy took off like a jet down the back roads of Hollymeed. It's right behind us, shouted Janet. Out of nowhere, stood Gordith in the middle of the road. Oh my gosh, shouted Mark as he frantically steered the car away from hitting Gordith. Next, the car came to a complete stop off the side of the road. You almost hit her, said Janet. You saw her too, right, said Mark. Suddenly, Mark and Janet magically flew out through the driver's and passenger side windows. I wish to know, said Gordith with a wicked smirk on her face. Wait. Who the heck are you, lady? Asked Janet. Darn, you completely ruined my moment, said Gordith as she waved her hand, thus magical cloth covered the mouths of Janet and Mark. Transport us to the top of First Lady Productions, said Gordith as she menacingly gazed at the orb called Orbis. As you wish, said Orbis as he completely covered Gordith, Janet, and Mark. Afterward, Orbis flew up and across the skies. Flash forward / First Lady Productions / Rooftop. Once the ladies hand over the Sistorian, I will release you, maybe, said Gordith with a wicked smirk on her face. Did you just throw in a maybe on the end? Asked Janet. I'm a sorceress. I change my mind. Like that, said Gordith as she comically snapped her finger. Mark chuckled a bit. This is so not funny, whispered Janet. Sorry, whispered Mark as he chuckled some more. You will each give your undivided attention to Gordith, said Orbis. Thank you, Orbis, said Gordith in a motherly tone. I will not allow others to disrespect a powerful sorceress, said Orbis. Gordith winked at Janet and Mark with the biggest smile on her face. Next, Gordith opened the magical locket attached to her necklace. Gordith smirked as she gazed at Neva and no more as they magically floated around inside of the locket. First Lady Productions / ground level. On my way. Merlin Genesis read the alert message on Vormetah's high-tech wrist device. Here's your book, said Harmony as she handed the Sistorian to Vormetah. Let's get 2 passenger drones so we can get to the rooftop, said Mora as she waved over toward 2 drones. Gordith mentioned drones in her hashtag when she directly messaged me, said Vormetah as she snapped her fingers. Who the heck, whispered Mora as she pointed towards 2 men dressed in advanced designer costumes. Merlin Genesis, said Vormetah with the biggest smile on her face. They won't be needing your drone services. Thank you, said Merlin Genesis to the 2 passenger drones that arrived. Your name is, said Harmony with a sexy voice as she gazed into Merlin Genesis's apprentice's eyes. My name is Jeremy Christ, said Jeremy. Call him, thou, whispered Merlin Genesis. Thou, said Mora. Thou, is fine as heck, whispered Harmony with a cute smile on her face. Hands out and together, quickly, said Jeremy. Vormetah, Mora, and Harmony quickly stretched out their hands and they placed their hands on top of each other. For 3 days, I bestow the gifts of Titans onto thee, said Jeremy. Suddenly, Vormetah, Mora, and Harmony felt powerful energies all throughout their bodies. Plus, I brought sisters to help you fight, said Merlin Genesis as he waved his hands and an all-female army appeared behind Vormetah, Mora, and Harmony. Xandra Horn, said Harmony as she and Mora could not believe their eyes. It's a long story, said Xandra. Really long story, said Mora. Xandra is head of the Sistorian army, said Merlin. He recruited them, whispered Jeremy. Let's do this, said Vormetah with the biggest smirk on her face as she gazed up towards Gordith as Gordith menacingly stood on the rooftop of First Lady Productions. First Lady Productions / rooftop. Are you serious? Asked Gordith as she gazed down at Merlin Genesis, Jeremy, Vormetah, Mora, Harmony, and the Sistorian army. Magical folks are too over the top, said Orbis. All I wanted was a simple peek inside a book, and I go through all this, said Gordith as she waved her hands and a magical mirror appeared. Gordith, said the wizard Merlin Future from inside the magical mirror. I need your assistance, now, said Gordith in a serious voice. Well now, said Merlin Future as he slowly walked out of a portal. Can you believe this? Whispered Janet. Totally unreal, whispered Mark. What's the emergency? Asked Merlin Future. They are, said Gordith as she pointed towards Merlin Genesis, Jeremy Christ, Vormetah, Mora, Harmony, and the sisters of the Sistorian army as they magically appeared on the rooftop of First Lady Productions. Suddenly, a crowd of rooftop partygoers burst through the rooftop's doors. Who the heck are you guys? Asked Willifo as she curiously gazed all around the rooftop. Your magical entertainment, said Gordith with a wicked smirk on her face. Perfect, said Willa with a cute smile on her face. Were you on the edge of your seat as you listened to Black Girl Magic Volume 4? Don't forget to leave your fantastic comments in the comments section. If this is your first time on this channel, welcome. Don't forget to click the like button, and if you enjoyed the video, simply share it on your social media. If you'd like to keep up to date with the epic comic book content on this channel, just click the bell notification icon. Reminder: Black Girl Magic Volume 5. Coming soon.